What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Stocks to Watch. And we're starting a new week, the last day of September. And we've got some mid cap names which are looking quite interesting. Now, I would first like to, give you a big update on what happened with Pratap Snacks. And this is the one which we discussed last time. And after that, Pratap Snacks was almost up about, I think if I look at the numbers from the day we made the video, it literally made a high of about 32 or 33% in the next 2 days. Here's the clip. You can have a look at the entire clip. I think it was just a crazy move in Pratap Snacks, and we just timed really well. So I hope, when you listen to this clip, you will be able to recall the same. Next one is another name which is more of a value buy. Now, this has been like a poor performer overall. This is Pratap Snacks. Now, what I really like is the fundamentals of the company are really good, and this is actually available at a deep discounted price. So I personally feel that this is really like that 6 month positional play, which you're basically buying a stock at decent volumes, at decent prices. And the most important thing is really what's happening here, right? So much volume kicking in, and that means something is definitely cooking up, and we are basically around the same areas where we've seen institutional build up historically, right? So all of these areas look really interesting and really nice to me. So I think this is also great. Now moving on to the stocks that I have for the next, the upcoming week. So the first one on my list has to be Goa Carbon. Now, this is one of the stocks that Mr. Junjunwala kind of played early in his days. And with that being said, this is a specialty, industrial chemical name, and this is setting up really nicely, a very very nice base, and I think it has all the ingredients to kind of set up to make a big move. So Goa Carbon is definitely going to be on my radar. Next up, we've got Sangam India, and I think last time we've also discussed Sangam, and the last 2 days it didn't really have a lot of move, a lot of moves, but I think it's still ready for like a good move higher. Landmark is another name. Now, this is a disclaimer. We already have a position in Landmark, so please do your own due diligence before you take any position. But I think Landmark opened really, really nicely. So I think from yesterday's close, Landmark made a high of about 4.5-5%, but then it was not able to close really nicely. But what I feel is it may pull back a little base around and then move higher. So from a positional perspective and from a valuation perspective, I think Landmark is really the name that you should be looking out for. Now, Hitachi India Energy. Now, this is again not ready yet. We discussed it last time as well. It is nearing its supply. So, again, not something that I'm really a big fan of, but I still feel that this has some steam left in it. Next up, we've got Muthoot Finance. And I think this one is going to be one from the FNO pack that I'm going to be having a close eye on, because I think with what NBFCs have been doing with all financial companies, I think we saw Home First Finance also. So, I think it's probably going to do really, really well. GM Breweries, again, one other name which I'm still contemplating whether it's ready for a big move or not. But I still feel that there is some accumulation going on right now in GM Breweries, and I'm going to be ready to take a move. Ready to take a position in this one as well. Nika, I think we discussed Nika, and Nika did actually create the candle that we did speak about. But I'm still I already have a long position, so I'll just give you a disclaimer. I already have a long position in Nika, so I feel that maybe Nykaa is going to take 1 or 2 days to kind of move higher, but everything else is, I think, perfectly suitable. Rama Phosphates, again, another name which is something that I'm going to be tracking. Again, these are names which are getting carry forwarded from my previous list, and I feel these names just need maybe 1 or 2 days, and then they're going to start performing. Same is the case with Barbecue Nation. NLC India, another name which is also setting up really really nicely. Oil India, another name which is near the area of demand, so I really like the way this is setting up as well. JSW Infra, very very good structure. I think this is like a proper breakout base structure, so I'm really going to be interested in this one. We've got Cipla from the Pharma name. Now, Pharma is like a good sector which is setting up really nicely. So I personally feel that this base and supply, I think this is going to be a good one, although it moved 3%, but I think this is going to be fine. Naukri, another name which I feel can hit a fresh high. This is probably its all-time high for Naukri, and I feel everything else is setting up really really nicely. And mind you, Naukri has like a sizable chunk in Zomato. So I think with Zomato's prices moving higher, I think this is also going to be a beneficiary. Tata Technologies, I think probably one of my favorites from the entire pack. I think this big base with Tata, Technologies, was a very big hyped IPO, and currently from its listing price, I think it's trading somewhere at like a 14-15% discount, and it was once trading at 25% discount to the listing price. I think lots of accumulation has happened over here in this area. The base is really nice. I really like the way it's setting up. Eicher Motors setting up for a fresh breakout. So again, this one is going to be on my radar. ICICI Prudential, again, similar story that we are just looking for a fresh breakout. This is the hourly chart. So I think this is going to be an interesting one, ICICI Prudential. ABB India, again, another big base. It is still maturing to kind of move, but definitely going to be on my radar. Narayana Hrudyalaya is at a value area, just like Pratap Snacks. This is at a value area of demand to kind of buy. It's still not yet mitigated into this demand, so I'm still going to be looking around this. Lakshmi Finance and Industrial Corporation. Now, this has been making base over base over base over base, and this has been like a stellar name. This was up 8.5% yesterday, and this is a very very micro cap name, very low liquidity. So do your own due diligence before taking a position in this. But from a technical standpoint, this is looking really well. Next up, we've got Steelcast Limited, which is also looking really nice with metal stocks positioned really nicely. I think this is going to do well. Harrison's Malayalam is again another name which I'm going to be constantly tracking. I think the overall structure and size is really nice. Everready, I think I've discussed this in the previous episode as well. I think with Exide, with Amara Raja batteries, I think Everready is ready to move higher, and the overall structure is really, really nice in Everready. So I don't really see any problem. Next up, we've got CompuCom Software Limited. Again, a very nano cap, micro cap kind of a name. Trading near the order block. So, and I really like the way it has formed like a really, really nice big base. So I'm basically talking about this entire base which is being set up, and it's trading literally at a very good price. So again, a risky one, but I think it's going to do the trick. Lotus Eye Hospitals, and again, this is also another one which is creating a nice little base. So I'm going to be interested to see on how this one performs. We've got another small cap micro cap name called RA Drugs and Pharmaceuticals Limited, and this is another one of those names which has made a nice little base. It is contracting nicely at the highs, so that's something that I'm going to be really interested. Renuka Sugar and the entire sugar pack is looking a little interesting, but Renuka is already up 10%. So I'm not really a big fan of trading this now, but I think if anything of this sort kind of takes place, I'm definitely going to be interested to kind of buy over here. So that's about Renuka. BASF, another specialty chemical name, breaking out from this area. So I really like the way this is setting up. So I am also going to be tracking the way this moves. Garware Fibers, another name which is not ready yet, but I think from a structural perspective, it has completed a big basing, and I think this is now ready to kind of move higher. So this is one. RR Cable, another one, which is something that I really, really admire. I really, really like. I think this is at a spectacular position to kind of position yourself in. So RR Cable is really, really nice. Another, I think my second favorite from the lot is going to be IIFL Securities, setting up really nicely. Volume dry up, very nice base, contraction near the EMA. I think every single thing that you need. Heritage Foods, I think we had a discussion about Heritage Foods last time, but for the first 2 days, it didn't really do anything, and then finally it broke out of the base. So this base is really nice. So I like Heritage Foods as well. So now this is a mixed bag. You don't really have a specific sector or subsector which is doing really well. Yes, China's stimulus measures, at least the rumor about it, we're not really sure. Chemical companies, especially specialty chemicals plus metals, they are definitely going to be doing really well. There is some sort of action even in pharma and textiles, so that's something that I would request you to keep a close eye on. But all in all, I think it's a mixed bag today, and for the first 6 or 7 trades, maybe they have just been taken forward from my previous position, and now from for tomorrow onwards, I think Tata Technology is really nice. I also feel RR Cable is really setting up really nicely. IIFL Securities has set up really nicely. Apart from that, if I want to look at it, I think CompuSoft is like a very small stock, so I'm not really going to talk about it. And I think Garware Fibers, I think these are the names which I'm going to be keeping a track on. So all of these names are completely dependent on how the market does. Now, mid caps have been underperforming Nifty, and so this is the chart of Nifty. And this is the mid cap chart. So you can clearly see mid caps have been underperforming Nifty. So it's going to be a little tricky to kind of tell you what's going to exactly happen. But I think it's with respect to the research that I've done, I don't really see a lot of large caps do really well. So I think it's a mid cap market again, especially the way the stocks are setting up. So I personally feel that I think Monday, Tuesday is going to be mid cap, small cap, and micro caps bouncing off again. So that's what I feel is going to be, doing really well. If you like the content, do drop in the like button. Give your comments, give your feedback, and do make sure to subscribe the channel. I'm going to see you on Monday. And until then, trade safe and have a great trading week ahead. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye, and good night.